what Spirit wants you to remember right now is that in order to create your manifestations, it's not simply about keeping your energy high all the time. Because if you are constantly trying to achieve a positive state while unconsciously avoiding a negative state or a negative feeling, you're actually recreating that feeling no matter how hard you do your manifestation, your visualization, or your journaling. So, right now we got the earth and air dragon, and it says, represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced, ground your visions, manifest your hopes and dreams. And then right after that, we got the moon and the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So, what this tells me is that it is imperative for you to, 101, it is imperative for you to sit with and accept and acknowledge the parts of you who are not quite believing or feeling the possibility of your vision. Now, let me clarify that. Whatever we avoid, whatever we resist, persists. So like I said before, if you keep trying to do your manifestations in order to avoid something that you're feeling, you're actually just recreating those old experiences over and over again. No matter how hard you manifest, it's not going to change. So instead of that, I want you to take some time today to just for a few minutes and knowing that there's not a this or that. If you feel the fear, you feel the pain, you feel the non-belief, it doesn't mean that it's not possible. These are just energies, right? This is what this King of Swords and this Empress energy feels like for me, is when you understand that energy is just energy, and thought is just thought, and it doesn't mean anything bad unless you make it mean something bad, right? When you're trying to avoid, when you're worried about these feelings, they create the main issues. They keep you from the manifestation, the fullness of your manifestation, because you're trying to run away from them. So I want you to practice bringing out your hands and holding both of the sides of the paradox at once. On one side, your soul knows your vision. Your soul knows what you want to manifest. It knows your desires, and you also know that it's possible for you. The reason that you're doing this work is because a part of you knows it's possible for you. Now, on the other hand, are those smaller, more conditioned, programmed human parts who have been stuck in this matrix, who've been taught different things that don't quite believe it yet. And both things are happening. You cannot deny one or the other. When you do, you keep yourself stuck. 333. You keep yourself stuck. So I want you to practice balancing, doing your manifestation work, but including the unconditional acceptance of these parts of you as well. Sitting and letting yourself lovingly acknowledge, yes, there's a part of me that doesn't know if it's going to happen. Yes, there's a part of me that's terrified right now. Yes, there's a part of me that has been carrying a lot and feeling exhausted and is trying to do all this manifestation work to not feel exhausted. Meanwhile, I still feel so exhausted. Like, all of those parts of you are real, are valid, and exist. And they deserve your love and attention. The moment they receive your love and attention, and you stop trying to run away from them and you stop resisting them, their energy actually liberates and can process and release. So if you need help with this, you can go to my podcast. It's called Quantum Soul on podcast platforms, and practice the softening into presence meditation that's on there. That will help you unhook from your resistances to what's actually happening in your body so that you can be okay exactly where you are. It's when you're okay exactly where you are that you can actually take actions in the direction that you're meant to go. Okay? If you're taking actions in the direction you want to go while not being okay with where you are, you stay stuck here. Do you guys get that? Like, that's very important. It's very important to understand. So many people are trying to do manifestation practices to get away from where they are, and that's exactly why they're staying stuck and the things aren't coming in. So the more that you can practice this balance of holding the vision lightly, because there's nothing wrong with where you are, even with all the discomfort, even with all of the fear, even with all of the pain, like, that's gonna be the most powerful thing. Okay? So that's going to be what allows you to finally complete this cycle. Come all the way through. Stop cycling in what you've been stuck in. You need to understand this paradox. You need to understand the balance and how, I've had experiences myself of thinking, oh no, if I accept that there's pain here and I acknowledge those feelings, then it's denying the feelings of my manifestations and my visualization. Or if I'm totally okay where I am, then where I'm trying to go, like, I'm not going to try to get anywhere anymore. But that's not the nature of reality. That's not the nature of our souls. Our souls know this. Our souls know the both and. So I'm going to invite you to create a structure for yourself. Maybe that's spending 10 minutes in the morning sitting with and acknowledging exactly where you are, being okay, letting yourself feel exactly where you are. And then 10 minutes after you've done that to drop into more pure presence, then doing your manifestation, visualization, and journaling. Something like that, so that you bring in that balance, right? And then just reflect after that week. What does life feel like? Because I'm going to bet when you stop doing your manifestation practices to avoid or to escape where you are, and you actually, like, so much liberation comes when you stop trying to escape how you really feel. And again, when you acknowledge how you really feel from loving awareness, right? It's different than cycling in the pain. It's different than being in the story and believing the story and just looping in the feelings. That's different. What we're doing is we're expanding our awareness to shine light, to shine love on ourselves, on these younger parts, on these fearful parts, and say, sweetie, I see you. I see you. I feel you. It's okay that these parts exist. It's okay that you feel this way. You're human. And you're loved even with these parts here now. Just feel the breath of fresh air when you say that, right? So that's your practice, is how can you bring in more of that energy, more of that acceptance, that allowance. Again, you can go to the podcast and do the actual practices, because this is the thing. Me saying these words to you might give you a hint of relief, but what really changes your world is the consistent practice of implementing and being with yourself in this way. Training your awareness where to go within you so that you naturally do this within yourself moment by moment, loving yourself and visioning, loving yourself and accepting yourself and growing, because that's what your soul came here to do. All right, I love you so much. Please let me know how this landed for you in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.